All right, where did you grow up? Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from West Oakland.
And tell me about your family growing up.
Well, my dad was a trick and my mom was a prostitute. Um, I had a twin sister. They went to Portland, Oregon to live with my grandmother. She grew out there. I grew up in West Oakland with my mom. My mom was 13 when she had me, and my dad was 49.
How do you describe your childhood? Did they stay together long?
No, my dad was already married. He had two other kids. She blackmailed my dad. He would send her checks and stuff and always cash up her money and stuff like that when she asked for it. It's like she kept me out there too for insurance that he paid her.
So your dad really wasn't in your life?
No, he was never in my life. Never.
Your 13-year-old mom, how was she as a mother?
I remember being my neighbor Belinda, her name, we called her Cece. She raised me pretty much. She was a black woman. She had kids already. But she raised me, watched me for my mom as I grew up and stuff, and my Auntie Jasmine. She wasn't my real aunt, but I called her Auntie Jasmine. It was my mom's best friend when she was out there working.
Your mom continued to work?
Yeah, my mom continued to work. I first remember about the age of 4 watching my mom work from the bus stop in West Oakland. On West Grand, my mom would be out there working, and Auntie Jasmine would sit at the bus stop with me.
What kind of mom was she?
For the way I grew up, my mom made sure I was okay. I never went in the system or anything. As far as what I needed as a mother, I ate. I wasn't ever hungry or needed clothes or anything like that. My mom made sure I had stuff. It was later, I think I remember catching on that my mom was addicted to drugs, and I just remember that I didn't grow up right. I just really realized that later. I was just happy to have my mom when I had her.
That's all you knew?
Yeah. I didn't know it was wrong or that you weren't supposed to be growing up that way. That wasn't normal, you know. I just know mom had to make money and take care of us, and I lived in a house behind Hamburger and Donuts on Athens Street in West Grand, by near West Grand in West Oakland. My mom took care of a man there named Clarence, an older guy, so we lived there. I had a small room. I don't remember it was a small room. My mom had a room across the hall from me, and then Clarence stayed in the living room. He had a hospital bed in the living room.
Was he a sugar daddy for her, or just a?
He was just some kind of old guy, and my mom just took care of, in-home care and stuff like that. Got paid for it, but I don't think he knew a lot of stuff that was going on, or if he did, he didn't act like it. This was for 6 years to this. We lived like this, but my mom would have dates coming in and out the house all the time, and she'd fall asleep laying out over the bed with her t-shirt up, her shirt up, dress up. I remember them just sitting on a chair staring at her, and I get bored or something, they'd come in my room, they'd do stuff to me. I remember crying and screaming for my mom, and she never came.
The tricks would come in?
Yeah. By the age of 6, there wasn't nothing sexually done to me that could happen, you feel me? a lot of bad stuff. And
I'm sorry, by the age of 6, what?
there wasn't nothing sexually that could have been done to a girl that didn't happen. I mean, there
I
was
see. Everything.
everything had happened to me by the age of 6.
I
Like,
see.
and I just grew up really hating men. Like, I got this little fire in me that, like, when I was younger, that, like, just, I don't know. I just seen my mom and how she did everything, and I felt like that's why she got money from the man. She never had a man, because that was what you're supposed to do, because men were not, you know. I tried my first date when I was 11 years old. It was one of my mom's tricks that came in the driveway, you know. I remember telling him that he couldn't say nothing to her, though, because I was younger and I should get mad and he would get in trouble. My mom used to charge him $40. I remember I got like $120 because I told him how young I was. I was going to tell on him. I started saving money right then. When I was about 13, one of my tricks said something. Her tricks said something to her about it, and she just went off. Like, I never wanted this for you. Like, you chose this. You're grown now. She said, anything I wanted beside any basic needs that I had, I'm getting it on my own now, you know. She worked too hard for me to be like this, and just, I remember just staying away from home from then on. At 11, 13, I just didn't come, like, back. My mom, she would tell me stuff like, don't cry now, you're grown now, you made this decision, and it would be well by the time I'm married and stuff like that. She said I wasn't a little girl no more, and she said I wasn't getting that from her no more. She said she wasn't going to talk to me like I'm a baby no more. I'm not a baby, I'm grown as fuck now. And I started staying away from home at 13. I was out there in West Oakland, hella small, little, and just white, and I got all kinds of attention from people that was good and bad, you know.
Did you work with pimps?
Remember my first pimp when I was 17. I had my first one. He was in West Oakland. His name was Marquise. He picked me up, and him and his brother Mama had a girl named already, Angel, and they picked me up, and we went to, it was the first time I ever worked on East 14th in Oakland. He took me out there, and I made money and gave it to him. I was with him, staying in motels, like cheap-ass motels on West MacArthur, right in my hood, right in my neighborhood, so I was comfortable for a while. And then he took me to Vegas, Las Vegas, Reno, different places. And pretty soon he had a baby mama, Sonia, a Mexican girl, who found out. And I remember she came in and busting the fucking car window on his car and yelling at him. He drove off hella fast and had his partner pick me up and take me where I needed to go. And I didn't see him again for a long time. When I seen him, he was on heroin and just gone. Like, not the same person I remembered. And then as I started getting older, I just seen how my mom was, and I had a couple people I worked with before, and I remember this man named Jigs. He was a pimp, a really known pimp. Jigs, his name is Donald Titus. He picked me up, and I'm in his book, actually, Macamillion. He picked me up one day, and I wasn't even 18 yet. I was 16, and he brought me home for his son, Ant. And I worked for Ant for a minute, but Ant didn't know what to do with me, so Jigs cut me loose. When I was 19, he picked me back up again. We helped build a barbershop downtown in Oakland and a lot of things. Then we knocked this female that was underage, and Jigs went to prison for a minute. they used everything against him, and that was really scary. Like, so that's when I quit fucking with pimps after that, because he was like really cool, you know.
Because you have all this experience with and without pimps, what do you make of them? Are they a good thing? Are they a terrible thing?
It depends. Jigs was a good thing, you know. He showed me a lot of good things in life. He showed me how to live. Like, there was better things in life than just always hoeing, but he made sure you enjoyed the bad and the good things, you know. Didn't beat you, didn't pressure you. But I've seen a lot of bad things happen to girls and even me. Like, I've been tied up, thrown in a trunk. I was videotaped while being raped out here in San Bernardino from Oakland. I was kidnapped and took out there. I was tied up with USB cords in somebody's, I don't even know what it was, garage or basement. Garage or shed or something for 2 days. I was beat up and raped and then videotaped it and hella shit. I don't know how I got out of there and ran, and then I ran, and over there was some man in the doing the street sweeping or something like that. He was cleaning the streets right there, was street sweeping because the big brush was on the truck. I remember hearing him, and he helped me. He got me up out of there. Yeah.
Have drugs been a part of your life?
Wasn't late until later, like, later on, like, I tried my best to stay right. I think my mom was the first person to give me, well, my godmama, actually, Jasmine, was the first person to introduce me to drugs. We were in a motel at the Nights Inn, and I remember asking her, what was she hitting, like, it looked like a bubble with the Sobrillo thing on it, you know what I'm saying? I thought it was crystal, you know? But it wasn't. It was crack cocaine she first gave me, and I've done that for a minute, and then I've had a lot of people try to give me other drugs, like GHB and stuff that I didn't know I was taking, and woken up in Jackson and different places, and stuff's happened to me. I've been handcuffed. I was in a hot tub one time and handcuffed to a hot tub when I woke up. In a hot tub when I woke up one time. In a motel with this sick man and 2 other people there. I've had a lot of stuff happen to me. I've been shot 3 times in Oakland. I got shot in my leg. It was all one shooting, but I got in the middle of a shootout out there on the host row, and I got shot in my leg and nicked my back, and then my hand up, and then went in here and came out here, and 2 other people died that night in East Oakland on 102nd, at the gas station.
You spent your whole life living on the streets.
Just running, you know.
This rough life.
My sister, she was my twin. Like, we're 3 minutes apart. She grew up good. She graduated high school. She worked at Laundry Drugs. She was manager in the photo department there. She got married when she was 17 because she got emancipated. Still did good. Has 4 beautiful kids. And she died last year. She fell off the back of a motorcycle. And the helmet she had on didn't have the proper novelty. It was certified with the novelty dot, but it wasn't certified. It had the dot, but it wasn't certified. And I sometimes think that I wish it was me, you know. She had so much to live for. She just did so much better than me. She had a chance, though. I wish my mom would have given me that chance. For real. Like, I don't know why I had to grow up in the middle of all this stuff, but I did. But I'm a mom, and I have 2 kids now, and they're as far away from this stuff as I possibly can. And
when you say you're going to have 2 kids?
I have 2 kids. They're growing up in Modesto, California, away from here. Away from Oakland anyway.
You didn't raise them, though.
No, I gave them to a lady who can't have kids, and they're still part of my life. I didn't just give them. They know who I am. They know when they're gonna be 5 and 7. I know who one of my kids' dads is. I don't know who the other one is. I love them a lot. And just recently, 3 weeks ago, I ended up in LA, probably just trying to start all over and do some things different. Get away from a lot of the stuff I was introduced to down there. And I'm out here in LA now trying to make things different.
What are you doing here? Are you working the streets?
I am, but I'm not. I'm doing things different. I have less people in my business, and I'm not out there putting myself out there, to be hurt and stuff like I was in Oakland.
Are drugs a part of your life still?
A little here and there, yeah, they are. I'm not gonna lie, they are, but it's what get me through things right now.
Still crack?
Yeah, that's it. The only thing I did. I'm scared of anything else, so
yeah.
I know I do want to live.
Did you feel loved when you were a kid?
By who?
Your mom, or certainly not your dad?
No, I really didn't. My grandmother, I think, I thought she loved me. I tried to tell myself she did, but my sister was her favorite. It made me really feel rejected. I thought the men that wanted me loved me, or I let people just use me for the feeling of being wanted or needed. And that's how I think I felt accepted or wanted and needed or loved anything. It's because I just wanted the feeling of being wanted,
Yeah.
No matter how it was, I was wanted.
If you could have changed one thing about your life, what would you choose?
I would have liked to got to know my mom a lot better. She's only 13 years older than me. We weren't even really close friends. I know there's questions I have for her that I'll never get answered. My mother's dead. She was killed by a trick, and I would think I would just want to know her better, a lot of things. I want to know my mom better, and anything else other than that, the way I've lived or how I was raised. I'm a strong person today because of it, and if it would have been anything different, I could have been dead like my sister, But I've made it, and I made it through a lot worse things than my sister went through, And I'm still alive. And maybe I could help somebody else one day.
You're definitely a survivor.
I'll try.
What's your biggest fear now?
Huh?
How old are you?
31.
31.
What's my biggest fear right now?
Yeah, what's your biggest fear?
I constantly get checked for diseases and shit like that, so I know I'm clean. That ain't it. My biggest fear is it's just being alone.
Have you been in love before?
Have I been loved before?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, God loved me, bro. My kids love me. I've been loved before. That ain't... it's just so much happens to me. Like, this happened to me. It's like, I know I'm worthy of being loved, but I don't know if I'm capable of loving like I'm supposed to be able to love. It's hard. Like, I don't think I could get close to people like I want to or could. I think I have some kind of, just like everybody in my life that I've gotten close to has just turned out to fuck me off or just sell me in some way or another. Or abandon me.
What emotions do you deal with most?
I think I have a lot of resentment I resent like not being able to give, I don't know, just not being able to see what people's true intentions are or what they mean because I can't. It's my defensive skill, like not to be just not in. I have a lot of, I don't know, I'm not, I have feelings inside like that I can't explain sometimes because of different ways I've grown up and stuff, like the feelings that you shouldn't be having at 32 about life and just feel misunderstood, like really. And I just kind of want to be understood and just know, everybody know I try my best, I try with all of me to do whatever it is I can to make whatever task it is I have happen, you know? I just don't want to be a failure to myself, like, for real. Like, I don't like letting myself down. I don't like letting people hurt me because I don't blame them. I blame myself because I let it happen. I feel like I let a lot of shit that's happened to me in my life happen to me because I was put in that situation, you know?
Well, I mean, you weren't really given a good set of parents and unconditional love as a kid.
You gotta find your love somewhere and somehow out there, like.
You had no role models that were worthwhile.
And none good, anyway.
Are you homeless now?
I'm working on getting places, to stay. Yeah, I am.
But you're generally staying in hotels, motels? What makes you happy?
Waking up tomorrow, I don't know, what makes me happy, just knowing that I didn't fail. I mean, I didn't fail, I didn't just quit, I didn't give up. A lot of people I know give up. They fail, they just turn to other drugs you're walking dead on them and stuff, and I didn't do that yet. I still care about myself. And
how would you define success?
For me, in my state, it's just seeing my way out of this. Doing the little things I gotta do right now with the system. I'm doing, eventually going back to school to be what I dreamed of being, an x-ray technician. And
that would be great.
Really just being able to have my kids and smile and say that's my mom, you know.
Do you have any good memories of your childhood at all? Do you believe in love?
Yeah, but you gotta love yourself first. And I'm learning that it's a deep process, for real. 31, I'm just now starting to see that I deserve better. And I need better, and I want better than what I've been. the hand I've been given isn't what I have to take. You know, I can change it. I could want better.
Are you able to stand kind of outside of yourself and look at your life and realize how unusual and...
Yeah, my life is different. It's unusual. Not fair. But it's what I was given, you know? And it's hard to say, but I don't think I'd want any other life, you know? I just want another chance. I would want a better chance, you know? I don't think I was given a fair chance at anything.
Do you believe you deserve a better life than what you've been given?
I believe I deserve a better chance. I'm gonna put it that way. I believe as a kid or anything, I don't think it's fair. I didn't really know back then that that's not how you grow up. You know, I still hear myself sometimes screaming for my mom when I'm sleeping. You know, or seeing the doors open or hearing stuff. You know. And I still hear myself screaming for her. Like, I never thought she ever could hear me, you know? I thought she was sick or something asleep.
It's crazy how we, as children, no matter who your parent is, your mother or father could be the best or worst person in the world, and you still long for their love and attention. Even though your mom was out there walking the streets at 13, 14, 15.
She did everything she could to take care of me, though.
She did.
My mama did. And herself and her habits, everything.
She was fairly functional, it sounds like. For being a drug addict. She kept a roof over her head.
Yeah, she made sure I ate. I was never hungry. And I think that would be one of my biggest fears, like, if I would have seen anything different, you know? I don't know how I could have had kids like she had them out there. Like,
she had how many kids?
My mama ended up having 6 kids.
How many different fathers?
Me and my sister are the only ones with the same father.
And your sister, who did well,
is dead.
Was raised in a different house?
Yeah, she was raised in Portland, Oregon with my grandmother.
And
I got stuck here with my mom.
Yeah.
And I didn't ever understand how that happened. She was older than me. I was younger, so it wasn't, you feel me? Maybe it was just the firstborn. I don't know how she got picked. I don't know. I'll never know. They're all gone. My grandmother, my mother, and my sister.
When did you quit school?
I graduated high school. I did do that. I got to that. I got my GED.
GED.
Yeah. I did. I've been doing some. I did some online classes for Edaloni for college. I majored in early childhood development and psychology. Yeah.
You're very resilient.
Just trying.
How do you see the world? Do you see the world as a cruel place, or?
Well, where I come from, like, there's different ways to look at it. I see the world's full of opportunities and options and stuff. And I unfortunately just wasn't given all that, though. But I could be an angry, bitter person and mad at God and mad at everything that even brought me into the world in this fucked up way. But I'm not, you know. I just gotta make my way up out of it. And I hope one day I do.
John, what would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
The most important lesson I've learned in my life is when you question yourself about anything you do, don't do it. If you have to question yourself, don't do it. I've had to go by my own instincts out here. That was my lesson. Like, and if you're gonna do anything, do it for yourself. Don't do it for nobody else. Especially when it comes to your life and putting it out there.
Tell me about some of your tattoos. You have Daddy's Girl on your right arm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's that?
The guys I was with.
Hmm.
Then I have Vito, Crazy Life, my Vito Loca. I have Don Marquis. I was with him for 5 years.
That's a pimp?
Yeah. My mama, her ashes are in there. That's Linda. My grandmother, her ashes are in there. My best friend. I like dice. They don't lie. Money signs. Love and loyalty. Integrity. My sister. My crown. And my niece, Kelly.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
It's Candace Taylor.
And what is the white can?
Yeah, Can.
All right, Can. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
I wish you all the luck out here in
I
LA.
hope I help somebody with it. I do.
Thank you very much. Even though Soft White Underbelly consists of a lot of videos, it's really still a photography project to me. And if you appreciate the photography, sometimes it's difficult to enjoy it when it's scrolling down the screen, which is the only option I had in this horizontal format on YouTube. So last year we came out with the first Soft White Underbelly book, which is a collection of the best portraits from the thousands of interviews I've done. Each portrait in this book is accompanied by an interesting quote from the person's interview.
Oh my God.
There's more.
Wow. These aren't as bad as I thought. I look like a witch.
The book includes multi-page spreads of both Rebecca and the Whitaker family. I will not be reprinting this book when it sells out, so once it's gone for good. You can order yours at softwhiteunderbelly.org. $125, $150 for a signed copy. And thank you for watching.
Relatively privileged people on the internet that are mean are sometimes more harrowing to deal with than the people that we deal with on the street, which is crazy.
Yeah, there's some horrifying.
I think about that sometimes. I'm like, I know people in my life that disappoint me more than anybody on the street does.
I mean, who could comment that stuff? I don't understand.
Whatever. It just people are angry and they're hurt and.
Yep, that's really what it's about.
And they want to take it out.
Hurt people.
Hurt people, and most people are hurting.
All right, so welcome back, Monica. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but we always have these interesting talks.
Yeah. What were you mentioning earlier on the phone? You started a conversation.
Oh, what was I saying to you this morning? On my drive in, I was thinking about all the things I wanted to say. And I know what it was. I try not to read comments anymore because I just get depressed when I do. But I was reading some comments at breakfast this morning, and I saw somebody say, Mark, do this. Mark, you got to save this person. Mark, you got to do this. And Lima gets a lot of those, and you do too.
I get them in my DMs, and when people find my music page.
But I think a lot of the viewers think that you, Lima, and myself are just these angels that are in the business of saving people.
Yeah.
When all three of us, you, me, and Lima, have other careers. This is just something we do on the side. This channel is my little side hustle. You're a musician, and this what you do is just something you do out of the kindness of your heart. And Lima, same thing. She has a business she's running.
Yeah. And
she talked her husband into helping out Amanda, which was wildly successful until she tragically died. But they lost, I think, they because the GoFundMe wasn't very well supported to help Amanda. So she talked her husband into digging up, like, I think $140,000 of their own money.
Yeah.
So when people say, sick Lima on this person, or Mark, you got to save this person when I'm already losing money with this channel, or you're supposed to save somebody, I think people don't understand that this is just something, we're not in the business of being kind, we're just, maybe we're doing some nice things for people, but At some point, it wouldn't be that terrible if somebody put down their phone and did something kind for someone else.
Right, and that's what we talked about last time. I would love to save every person on your channel, but
Likewise.
First of all, what does saving even look like? I'm not qualified to, I'm not, a deity. I'm not qualified to do that anyway. What I can do is, and what you do and what Lima does, is we find somebody who genuinely is at a place where they don't have any other option. And we do our best with the resources we have. But if we're actually, as Western civilization, as Western culture, if we're actually going to make us a significant shift, it's going to come from everybody doing something. It's not going to come from 3 people you see on YouTube doing their best. We can do what we can, but we're one singular person. And in my case, I'm broke. I have no income, so I can only do so much. I'd see a lot of comments about, because of what I wear or whatever, she must be paying herself out of the nonprofit. I paid myself 3 times in the 4 years that I've been a part of the nonprofit. And it was very small amount of money. So that's the thing people don't understand, is we don't have this abundance that we can just throw. And even if we did, throwing money isn't solely going to fix it. It comes from these conversations and educating people that are willing to listen about the actual hurdles we're facing so that they can do their part. And if we all figure out how to come together, then we do have a shot. But in order to make change in a way, or shift things in a way that it affects the systemic things, it takes a lot more people than us. Yeah. And that's what's really the big overarching conversation, is mental health and the resources to mental health.
That's what I'd like this talk to be mostly about, because people, on the surface, it's homelessness. That's the problem. But if you look a little bit under the surface, then there's drug addiction there. But I don't believe drug addiction is the problem. I think mental health is the problem.
Yeah, I would say that in most cases, with people that I experience, drugs are a byproduct of mental health struggles.
And it's also confusing, because sometimes the drug use brings about the mental illness, and very often the mental illness leads to drug addiction or drug use.
Yeah, exactly. Like if someone's using meth, chances are that's gonna, as Lima was talking about when she was working with Amanda, like drug use definitely alters the brain in a way that sometimes is irreversible. But a lot of times what leads to drug use in the first place is abuse, is trauma that causes mental health struggles. And mental health, the conversation around mental health in general, whether you're unhoused or a millionaire, this is a new conversation. The generations before us were just like, suck it the fuck up and do it. This is the first time that we've actually been able to have these conversations. So now that we're having them, let's dig deeper and recognize that even now, mental health services are accessible only to those of us who can afford it. And so that's why you and I were talking, and I was like, what if we figured out a way to have some psychiatrists and perhaps a few doctors come down to Skid Row and just be open to, whether it's therapy a few hours a day or whatever it is, trying to help these people. But that's so tricky because some of them are using drugs, so it's impossible to diagnose.
Yeah, the reason Amanda's recovery was so successful, I believe, was, first off, she was in jail for 2 months.
Right.
Cold prison cell. Nothing you can do. You can't use anything. And then she went straight from there, court ordered to go to rehab for a year. And there she got much better care. Mm-hmm. And she got all the psych meds for her schizophrenia. And she was also not using crack. And she started to recover. And she was also treated with dignity and kindness and love and respect. And that combination led to her to being who she was before she passed. And it was a beautiful transition. But it's that combination of getting her mental situation under control, along with keeping the drug use from happening.
Exactly, and that cost $140,000 of Lima's money.
Yeah, no, 140 theirs plus more. So
right, exactly.
And
expensive. So, and that's the thing that we get to in general, which isn't going to happen tomorrow, but these conversations may spark one person that creates a ripple effect, and then it does change, which is why we have these.
Yeah.
Like I'm helping a young lady who's in Poughkeepsie right now, and she's at a Buddhist center for the unhoused, and they wanted to put her in detox, but she's gone to detox so many times, and the biggest concern of her, the I guess caseworker within the organization she was working with, is we have to continue to have her be able to have a therapist. So the foundation, she has insurance, so the foundation didn't have to cover her stay, but the conversation wasn't even about finding a detox. It was, how do we make sure she can maintain at least phone contact with a therapist? Because that was the only thing keeping her in rehab. And that's the thing, it's such a hurdle to figure out how to even get these people access, even if you have the money, to someone who's trained and can actually start to unpack some of their experiences and have them shift what's going on for them that causes them to self-sabotage.
No, because getting someone clean from a drug is wonderful, but it's not the problem solver. Because as soon as they're free to do whatever they want to do, and they get a letter from the IRS, or they lose a job, or they break up with their boyfriend or girlfriend, boom, then they're back to square one, which is where mental health needs to...
Mental health is number one.
How many people relapse? Like 99%.
I haven't helped anybody yet who hasn't relapsed.
Right.
And if I look at my own life and my own versions of self-sabotage, it takes such mental fortitude to not make the same choice when you're in a situation that triggers you or reminds you of something, right?
I've done so many of these talks with people who said they're going to go to rehab and they're going to get clean and they're going to do this. And they want to, and they have. I believe it. I believe what they're saying 1,000%. But every single one of them has gone in a different direction.
Yeah. I mean, we set up these meetings and they don't show up, and that's okay. Their time is their time. If they don't want to be here, I get that. But it's because of the mental health. And
the mental health is what keeps all the people that you've offered to help, offered to give them free housing and therapy and rehab and job training and education. All they got to do is accept it.
Yeah.
And how many people have you offered and they just couldn't do it? All of them. Pretty much all.
Yeah, it's been really hard. Or sometimes...
And that's mental health.
Sometimes people people have a misunderstanding of what recovery looks like, and I don't blame them for that. I'm still learning what it looks like, and it's changing as time goes on, but it's like, people are like, okay, I want to go to some place with spas, and I want to be, in a lavish recovery center. And it's like, first of all, I don't know what foundation can afford that, but there's so many layers to it. There's so much corruption within the rehabilitation community as well.
Yeah, so let's talk about that.
So I mean, the bodies in beds game is something that a lot of people know about, and I know a documentary or a movie, I don't know which one it was, something came on one of the streaming services about it, and people were shocked. They didn't know it was happening. But it's something that, like, the foundation, when we started Patrick Cady Foundation, when Jim started it, that was one of the things that was most important to him about the foundation, was to vet the places we were sending people and figure out if they were part of that bodies in beds game or if they were genuinely in the business of helping people. But what I found, and this is just my experience, I'm not saying it's fact, but my experience is that the places that are just in the business of helping people can barely stay afloat. And the businesses the nonprofits or the recovery centers that are playing the game have the funding. So they can stay in business and they can look more attractive and they can charge more. And these little tiny places, they have trouble. Yeah, they have trouble staying afloat.
I think Jimmy, a young man that I interviewed recently, talked about he was guilty of doing this, where he was directed to go to rehab in LA. And so tell me how it works.
So this is my understanding of it, but I think there are a multitude of ways that it happens. But essentially, a third-party person will get someone on drugs, send them to rehab, so that their insurance pays for their rehab, and then they get them back on the drugs. And so there's just like basically a cycle of people in and out of rehab, and making sure that they get bodies in the beds so that the rehab center can get the money from the insurance companies so that they can stay open.
That's surprising, I guess.
And that's a pretty ignorant take on it, because I know it's a lot deeper than that. That's just what I've experienced. And there's also a lot of drug use in a lot of these facilities, and that's hard to control, even if the facility is built on.
It's all so much more complex than just go back to rehab and get yourself clean. Because even people that go to rehab going to rehab is one thing, but staying in rehab is a totally another thing.
Totally another thing. And it's the same thing with like, the city of Los Angeles is converting these spaces, these hotels and whatever else into Project Room Key or Home Key. I don't know what step we're at now. But those are a disaster. And it's not to anyone specific. It's not anyone's fault, but it's just, again, there's no mental health services. So you're just taking people out of a tent and into a room. They're not going to change their behavior.
Not at all. No, that's really the problem, because everyone that's had these things offered to them, where you have a roof over your head, you have a room, you have a key to your room, it's all yours. They end up leaving because they're not allowed to do all the things they want to do. There's a curfew. They have to be in. If they're, I'm not sure all the details, but there are so many problems with it that people bail and they end up back on the street. It's so incredibly complex. And,
being indoors can sometimes be less safe for certain, like, depending on what your line of work is within being unhoused, it can be less safe to be in that building because you can get cornered more easily. That's what I was talking to a young lady on the street earlier about. But that's the thing, is overall, there's so many aspects to it that, yes, ideally, I could come down here, and I'll just speak for myself, I could come down here and get everybody off the street and get all of them feeling loved and seen and heard and get all of them the mental health services they need and get them all into rehab. But it just doesn't work like that. And it's important that people know that even the littlest gesture within your community where you are actually does make a difference. And I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and they were like, don't you ever get tired of being so hopeful? And I'm like, no, because if we don't, it's the same thing with my career. Like, if I don't believe that there's a chance that something I do could help somebody else, and then they go out into the world and they make a difference, and we ripple out and truly start to take care of each other. If I believe that everything I'm doing is a waste of time, what am I doing? Why am I even on the planet?
Being hopeful is a key to being even capable of doing anything for all these people.
Yeah, so I'd rather be hopeful than bitter.
Yeah, or pessimistic.
Or pessimistic, because your thought process becomes your reality anyway. So if you're walking around like that, then that's what you're going to get. That's what's going to be reflected right back to you.
For you, me, anybody to go, oh, look at these drug addicts. They're all the same. They're all a bunch of losers. I mean, that's, I even used to say that many years ago. But by remaining hopeful, somebody gets a chance out.
Yeah.
Gets Patrick gets clean, or Jimmy, or Amanda, or whoever. Somebody actually does it. And if you can save one or two, it's a miracle.
Okay, because watching Amanda's story, some people on your channel may have gone out and said, you know what, I'm going to do something different today. And again, one thing affects everything else. Every millisecond affects the next millisecond. So I'm not going to stop helping people. And of course, it's disheartening that 9 times out of 10, people will be in a meeting with us and they leave or whatever. But I'm not going to stop, because I don't know what the other side, I don't know what the point is. And it takes a lot of money and a lot of heart to truly help people. In the way that people expect us to.
Yeah, you have a lot of heart.
We all do. I mean, that's why we do what we do. Just, again, more context.
Yeah.
Like, again, Amanda's story's beautiful, and she left this earth feeling loved and seen, and that's what matters. But that cost so much money, and she was in a situation where she had to go. So
she was forced into it.
She was forced.
It wasn't like Amanda decided to get clean. Amanda would never have gotten clean if she hadn't been forced by the court to do this.
Maybe not. And if she had had mental health services, if she had had access, perhaps she would have wanted to get clean. But you don't just go from being on the street riddled with trauma, using, to floating up into the sky and becoming, becoming what people deem socially appropriate. There's so many steps, and there are hurdles at each stop. And if we are all having a conversation about it, then those who are corrupt or not doing the appropriate thing will become fewer and far between, hopefully.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Educating everybody and helping us understand each other and ourselves
Yeah.
can't be bad.
No, it can't be bad, and we're gonna keep doing it. I'm just gonna keep, even if nobody listens, because I don't. What else? What else do? You know, you got to try.
You're amazing.
Thank
You're
you.
amazing.
So are you.
Monica, thank you so much. I love these talks we have.
Yeah, me too.
These are great. Thank you.
Yeah. Was that educational?
That was the best one yet. I just love these things because if I start harping on this stuff myself, it's just not the same.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
Yeah.